session. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm doing well. I'm going great. And what about you? How are you?
I'm also doing good. Anything special about your day?
Yes, this is a special day for me. Yeah, it's worth mentioning. Today is my wedding anniversary day. Yeah, that's a special day.
Oh, that is quite special. Did you do anything special today?
No, I did not do anything special, just
Why
small.
not?
I did not do actually. My son, he brought cake, then he made us cut the cake, then he brought some food items. So this much only.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking you why didn't you celebrate your anniversary?
So actually, I'm not that kind of guy that who celebrate anniversary. I am always like that. But today, what happened that my son he brought cake. He made us a
Uh-huh.
cut cake, and he brought some food also, food item ordering from the restaurant. So we did
Hmm.
this much. Yes, at home.
That's fair enough. I mean, that is also a kind of celebration. You don't have to throw like a big party for it. It should be a celebration for you guys.
Yeah,
So that's there. But fair enough. But you don't like partying?
I don't like. I just
Why?
be myself only. Yeah.
Not at all. Like not even once or twice a year.
Earlier, I had something that if there was a party, I used to be happy. I wanted to go there, putting on nice dress. But nowadays, I don't feel like doing that. But there is one thing that I always want to do, but it is only within me. I have never done it. I think that if instead of celebrating birthday or wedding anniversary,
Hmm.
if you can buy some food items and give them to the needy person, that would bring more happiness in my life. I think so. So I
Yeah,
have
that's true.
planned this year.
Hmm.
Maybe in a small scale, but
Hmm.
I am sure that it will bring happiness,
Yeah.
uh, more happiness than doing throwing party. Because
I feel like these things start always small scale only. Like, I mean, people like us, we just can't go and donate everything suddenly. So even if we start on small scale, that's a good enough deed. At least you're making some people happy.
yes,
So that's also there. But fair enough. But it's surprising that you haven't done it, but you are talking about it. So yes, but fair enough. But so usually, what's your idea of celebration? Like, I mean, till now, you must have had many like anniversaries and birthdays and everything. So, what's your idea of celebration? You don't like it at all. So, what do you do on those days?
I just spend the day like any other day, and
So, on the counterpart, how is she? Does she enjoy partying a lot? Is she kind of opposite that way, or she's like you and likes to spend time at home only?
she is also kind of like that, but she wants, even if there is a celebration, but on a small scale, not in a
Hmm.
big.
Ah, okay, that
Yes.
makes sense.
So suppose today it's an anniversary day. So if I had asked her to go out to have dinner in a restaurant, she would not agree. She would tell me
Hmm.
that why don't you bring some item at home? I will prepare the food and we'll have dinner at home. She would not like to go out have dinner at outside in the restaurant. So this is what
Huh. So that's a good thing. It matches between the two of you. So I think no arguments about at least this.
yeah, that's true.
Let's talk about you. So what have you been up to?
I have been doing this only going office, coming back from office, wait for some time, then read sometimes books, and whenever I get an opportunity to speak to others, particularly
Uh-huh.
on platform. So I like to speak with the tutors just to
Hmm.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah. So books you mentioned. What kind of books have you been reading or been trying to read?
I like the books that self-help books, which motivates me to go ahead in my life and how to live a simple life actually.
Hmm.
So all those books I like to read. Now, one book that I'm reading for some time because every day I read only few pages, say 3 or 4 pages only.
Hmm.
I I read those pages word by word, and if there is any word that I don't understand, then I find meaning. Try to understand what the writer has meant it, and that's how I read the book. It helps me to learn new vocabulary. At the same time,
Yeah.
it helps me to live a life. How to live a life? Like say the name of the book you might have heard. It's a very famous book.
Hmm.
Monk who sold his Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first books I read, and I was very young when I read it. Since then, I have read it 7 times.
Yeah.
But every time I read it at a different age. So the perspective and the learning changes. Something new gets added up. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's one of my favorite books. Anytime I'm facing any problems in life, I always go back to that book. So yeah,
Yes. I also do that. I
yeah,
go
that has
back
been a nice one.
the pages that I have already read, and I can go back to those pages again. I read it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is a certain chapter about rose gardens and everything.
Yes.
That is,
Yes.
yeah, that is one of my favorite ones. Like in the entirety of book, that is the particular part that I have marked, and I always go back to that because it's extremely helpful to me. So yeah, that's that. So what about you? What has been your, I would say, best learning or some sort of learning that has had like a really, really deep impact on you? Not just from this book, but from any book or any articles or whatever you have read. From all of that, what has been the best impact or best learning that you have gotten out of it?
Best learning, I would say, and I have told this on several occasions, is that earlier I used to get angry instantly if somebody told me something which I did not like. So I would be angry and I would not talk to that person for some time, maybe for a few days. So that I did not know at that time. I was not aware of those things. But after reading some books, now I have been learned to deal with such situations. So in
Yeah,
some books, it has been told that if somebody says something to you which you don't like, don't take it seriously. There may be
mm,
some reason that that person may be going through some bad phases. So that's
yeah,
why he reacted like that. So if
mhm,
you think like that, if you make your mind to think like that, then you will calm. But otherwise, your mind will always be in a state of agitated mind. So that
mm,
will harm you, not that person. It will not harm that person. If you are angry against a person, it will not affect him, but it will always affect you. So it is better not to be angry and stay calm and think. Uh, you train your mind to uh, think like that. That
mm,
suppose there was a example. Suppose you are
mm,
going in the morning working and you have found someone known to you and you have greeted him or her like good morning. So that person has not returned back your greetings and just
mm,
went away. Then you might have thought, oh my God, what happened? He has not replied my greetings. He
mm,
is so egoistic person like that. You might think like that, but it is not so. You have to think that he might be going some bad pages. That's why, or he might be thinking something else. He did not notice you properly. So if you think like that, so it will go away the anger that it will generate. It will not be there. So
yeah,
that's it helped me actually, and actually it helped me. But nowadays I don't get angry with anybody, whatever they might have said to me or may say. I don't get angry. I still I try to keep myself calm, and I have succeeded in doing so.
yeah. That's a good thing, I think. I mean, anger is a very, very strong emotion. I don't know anybody who has not struggled with it at some point. We've all been like the person who has a hard time, controlling anger or uh, expressing it in the right ways. So, yeah, it's not something that needs to be suppressed, but I think if you understand the meaning of your anger and why you're getting angry, which you just described, right? That looking from different perspectives instead of just reacting directly, that it is possible that the other person probably didn't see you, right? That's why they couldn't greet you back. So even just doing that, even just trying to understand your emotion, that can really help you calm down in general also. Not just with anger, with other emotions also, but yeah, anger is quite a strong emotion.
Yes, and one more thing is that even though you know that that person might have harmed you, sometimes he might have or she might have told something back in against you,
Yeah.
and but if you keep these things in your mind, that will always going to annoy you. So it is better
Hmm.
to forgive the person. So if you can
Yeah.
forgive that person, then you will feel calm. The calmness will be there. So
Yeah.
that is what I've learned, and I have actually applied this in my practical life, and I have found the benefit.
Hmm. Yeah. That makes sense. Fair enough. But yeah, that's I think that's one of the biggest learnings, and I feel like this is a learning that in most of the self-help books. Any self-help book that you pick up, it might not be written in the same words, of course, but you
Hmm.
essentially get the sense of it from almost every book. So not
Yeah,
just Mongo Sold as Ferrari, but I think there is a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. There's a book
yeah,
called The Secret. That is more about affirmations and manifestations, but in those books also this idea is present.
same. Yes.
So yeah,
Even this
that's also
group,
there.
Sadhguru, or any other that I have watched on YouTube, the same
Yeah,
thing. They say the same thing.
yeah, that's true. But fair enough. Makes sense. But that is, yeah, that is quite a learning of the day and learning that you have gotten from your books also. But fair enough. So is there any particular book that is something that you started, but you didn't end up enjoying it? Like you thought that this is going to be a good book because maybe it was hyped or something, but when you read it, you didn't like, kind of connect with it.
Yes, it is not that I could not connect with it, but there was a book I bought it long back.
Hmm.
Uh, I started to read the book, but I could not understand. Uh, I started several times, say 4, 5, 6, 7 times. First 2 pages I read, but I could not understand anything. Then again, I go back to the first page. Then again, I try to understand what it is saying, but I could not understand, and I stopped reading that book. That was a book written by Salman Rushdie. The title of the book is Shame. So I bought it
Oh, yeah,
uh,
I know that book. Yeah,
from a railway station, from a shop, a bookstall in a railway
yeah,
station.
yeah, yeah.
But I could not understand. It's so hard for me. I just stopped reading this.
Certain books are like that. Certain books have a very like the language is not something that you will get at once because it won't like there are books that you read and it's very direct writing that the writer is writing exactly what he or she wants to show or wants the readers to understand. But then there are writers who like to write it in a very curvy way where you can't exactly get the meaning of it. You'll really have to sort of connect with the thinking of the book to understand what's going on. Fair enough.
Actually, I did not have any habit to read book,
Yeah.
but only because of this English language. So I started reading books. Sometimes I was told by my tutors, so you may read this book, that book. So once I started, I have realized it's very interesting. So now I nobody has to say me. So once I finish a book, I before finishing that book, I just place an order for another book. So then
Mhm.
continuing, as you mentioned, that the power of subconscious mind. So I have read that one also, The Secrets, then Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Uh, so like this, some of the books that I have read.
Hmm.
Dad,
Fair enough.
Dad,
Yeah.
Psychology, uh, Money.
Psychology of money. Yeah. That's a good one, actually. Quite helpful. Very valuable tips.
Ankur, what is the name? Ankur.
Ankur Wariko.
Yeah, Ankur, very cool.
Right?
Do the epic
Yeah.
sheet. It was
Yeah.
also,
Yeah. 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 I'm not a fan of that book, but in general, his advice can be workable. Yeah, that's it. But fair enough. But yeah, I'm afraid we are running out of time. Let me quickly wrap up with the feedback. Otherwise, I don't want to go without a feedback.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. As for the feedback, see, I didn't notice any major grammatical mistakes or anything. I think you have improved quite a bit in your journey, and I didn't notice any mistakes as such. Just one or two things that, for example, you still have a habit of saying "say me," right? It's either you'll say they don't like nobody has to tell me to read books.
Tell
I
me.
can
Yeah.
do it on my right. So the difference between said and told should be very clear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, right. I think that's something I've previously discussed also, but fair enough. But just that one thing. But other than that, all the grammar tenses and everything were fine, no mistakes as such. So I think you're good to go that way. And I think vocabulary is also working in your favor. Like now it doesn't seem that you're always searching for words. You're like very clearly able to say whatever comes to your mind. But yeah, vocabulary, as we discussed, it's a never ending journey. So you can learn as many words as you wish to. There are plenty of them. So yeah, you can keep learning and you can keep reading the books. You'll always gain some new words out of it. Some words will stick with you, some might not. So that's
Yeah.
that. But yeah, but other than that, you're doing fine. Any doubts that you have?
No, it's okay. It was a nice session.
All right, perfect. I enjoyed it too. We didn't have any session notes, but I think we went from topics to topics.
Yes, yes.
All right, fair enough. So I'll close our session here. Is that completely okay with you? No doubts or anything?
No, no, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Wish
Thank
you
you. Thank you so much.
bye. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.